Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Society of Thoracic Surgeons Congenital Heart Surgery Database User Group call. Today is Tuesday, June the 29th. On the call with me today, I have myself from the STS, Carol Crone, Emily Conrad, Addie Dolan. Let's see here. I think that's it from the STS side. From our core group, we have Chastity, Janet, and Leslie. And our IQVIA team members, we have Michelle, Melanie, Joe, Anna, and we also have Dr. Jacobs on for our surgeon leadership. So thank you everyone for joining me today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me close out some windows here. Just real quick, I wanted to be, just wanted to take a second and wish my two kiddos. I have two June birthdays this month. My youngest on the right, this is Holden. He is 16 today, and my oldest Mason on the left, he turned 20 on June 13th. So I just wanted to take a moment to say happy birthday to my two kiddos and happy birthday to all the other June babies out there. So hope you guys have a great birthday. Have a great summer. So thank you. And thanks for allowing me to share my proud mama moment. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. Our user group call today, I'm just going to give a brief STS update. I don't have a lot of new information. Then I'll turn things over to IQVIA so they can provide their updates, and then we'll turn things over to you all for any questions that you have. All right. 2020 harvest analysis update. A lot of this information is going to look familiar from our last call. Again, the data is expected to be released this summer. I just wanted to take a second to make one clarification. I know the May-June database news went out, and in that newsletter, they had stated that there would be the spring data released this summer, and then the fall data release would follow shortly after. So I apologize for that. I didn't get a chance to review that prior to it going out, but I just wanted to clarify that there is only one analysis for the 2020 harvest. And this one analysis will include the analytic period of July 1, 2016 through 6/30/2020. So again, I just wanted to clarify that there would not be two analysis reports being released for 2020. Again, we'll just have that one analysis, and it will cover that standard fall 2020 reporting period. We are still on track for the release of this 2020 data for this summer. STS will be conducting user acceptance or user testing of the dashboards, I think the week of July 6th. So coming up, we will be doing that testing, and as long as everything continues to, we don't find any major issues, we're not expecting anything, everything has looked great thus far. Melanie and her team have been doing a fantastic job. So we will be doing our STS review and testing again the week of July 6th, and then that data will be released to you all shortly thereafter. So I would think within a week or two. I don't have a specific date yet, but again, just know that we will notify you once that data is available for you all to review within the IQVIA platform. The 2021 harvest update, again, no changes here. Again, we're going to give you all the opportunity to review your data prior to setting that harvest close date. So once you all start looking at that, those dashboards, that risk adjusted dashboards, and looking at your data, we will set a harvest close date shortly thereafter. And again, yes, you guys will have ample opportunity to correct any issues, continue to submit your data. You'll have a minimum of 2 weeks notice prior to us setting a harvest close date. And also just a reminder that the spring 2021 harvest will include an analysis. The analysis will include procedures up through 12/30/2020. So again, please continue to submit your data, use open submission and cleaning your data until we get this harvest date closed. Also, you all can continue to, even though the analysis will include data up through 12/30/2020. You can submit data after that 12/30/2020 date. That's the beauty of this continuous submission process that we have with IQVIA. You're not restricted of just submitting data up through that analysis period. So you're welcome to continue to submit data. Please, we encourage you to submit data. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me, or you can reach out to IQVIA support for assistance. Data version update, no changes from our last call. Again, as you all aware, the go live has been moved to July 1st. We are working to incorporate those congenital adults with congenital heart disease variables into the data, into the data collection form, into the database. And again, those will be for patients 18 and over only. We're working closely with the surgeon leaders as well as the vendors to get all of that that incorporated. We will have upgrade webinars. We'll provide data manager education. The upgrade webinars will be weekly. We'll walk through the form, go through all the variables, go through all the changes. Right now, those webinars are scheduled to begin the 1st of September, around the September the 7th. And of course, if you can't make any of those webinars, they will all be recorded and posted out on our STS webinars page. We also will have a new and improved training manual that will be better organized, more user-friendly. Of course, if you have any ideas or anything you'd like to see in terms of surgeon worksheets, or again, improvements you'd like to see within the training manual, please feel free to email those to me at ljones@sts.org. AQO is coming up. As you all aware, the virtual meeting is scheduled for October 12th through the 15th. This will be our last virtual meeting, and we are so excited. Next year's AQO 2022 will be in person, and we cannot wait to see you all again, all your beautiful smiling faces. The congenital session will be held on Friday, October the 15th. Again, free registration for all of our data managers. Just know, in order to be eligible for that free registration, you must be listed as a data manager contact on your site's participation agreement. If you are not sure, if you are listed, you need to confirm. Please email us at stsdb@sts.org, and Addie and her team will be happy to help you out with that. If you're not listed as a contact, you would need to have your primary data file contact submit a participant contact form to get you added. Again, that form must be completed and submitted by the primary data and file contact. In regards to AQO, we are continuing our planning. The planning committee, we're meeting again this week. We're meeting on Thursday. We have our second meeting so far. Topics that we are looking to discuss include DORV, diagnoses, Norwoods, case scenarios, stat category updates. We'll discuss the upgrade, of course, how to use your data for everyday practice, what data managers want to know panel discussion, which is almost always one of our most popular sessions. We'll also be including, I'm hoping to include an anesthesia session for those, for our anesthesia participants. Hoping Dr. Morgan Brown will be giving that presentation this year. Get some insight on what the CCAS has in store for the anesthesia moving forward, things they're looking at, types of analyses, where do they see the anesthesia database going. So again, we're looking forward to having her present at AQO this year. For our What Data Managers Want to Know panel discussion, if you have questions that you would like to see discussed by the panel, if you could email those questions to me by September 15th, and we'll select, as many questions as possible to cover during that session. Of course, it will be a live discussion, so you'll also have the opportunity to submit questions during that session. But if you could, and you'd like to have some questions, if you're not comfortable submitting, or asking your question live during the session, again, please feel free to email me your questions directly, and we can review those and include those during our discussion. Also, again, just a shout out to the STS cardiothoracic surgery ebook. Again, this is available for purchase. You must purchase a subscription. It's not a complimentary purchase. There are fees for STS members and non-members, and there's also a fee for an institutional fee if your facility or institution would like to get access to the STS cardiothoracic surgery ebook. If you need more information, please reach out to sts.org/ebook for more information about a subscription for the interactive online ebook. That is all that I have from the STS perspective at this time. I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Joe and the IQVIA team for their updates. Joe?
Great, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Just a few things to go over today, starting with an update that occurred over the weekend. There is a notification posted for this if you need to check it out or review it, but the general IQVIA platform was updated from version 1.4.1.1 to version 1.43.1. And because of this change, there is a change in the upload process that goes along with that. And I'll cover that in a little bit more detail on the next slide, which you can go to right away. So the update for the uploader. When you go to submit a file now, at the very top of the page, there is a drop-down menu. And for the form type. And so you should only have one option there, which is case form. So since this update, you will now have to select case form from that form type drop-down. We are working with our development team so that this will default for you, so you won't have to take this extra step. But for the time being, just be aware that this change has gone into effect over the past weekend. And anytime you submit a file now, you'll just want to make sure you make that selection. If you forget, it's not really a big deal. You'll just get a little notification on screen that will inform you that you didn't make a selection. It won't kick your file out or anything. It'll just prompt you to go back up and select that and click the upload button again. So no big deal if you miss it, or if you take some time to get used to, just go back up there and make that selection from the dropdown.
Could I ask a question? This is Dr. Meyer. Let's say you're downloading or uploading a whole year's worth. I mean, does this pertain to that kind of upload, or is this just pertain to, maybe updating the information, in a given case?
This update would apply to any file that is submitted to the registry, regardless of size or time period.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, no problem. So for the next release, which is coming next month for July 2021, we are looking to implement a couple updates for the primary procedure mismatch report, SCS 6325 and SCS 6337. For both of these, we are looking into reports that the exception rules are not being applied properly and to the primary procedure logic, and we will be making updates to bring those mismatches in line. All right, and then finally, we do have some items that are targeted for a future release that we don't yet have a date for on the missing variable report, STS 6211. The MVR is showing that the prothrombin complex concentrate 4 dose 3 is missing, even though the field is not active on the case form. STS 6343. We are looking to update the MVR so that it recognizes the missing selection for mortality status at database discharge as a missing variable, in addition to the current functionality, which only flags it as missing if no response has been selected. STS 6427, the on-demand version variable will be updated so that it's no longer flagged as missing on the MVR. And finally, STS 6340, the 2 in brackets indication will be removed from the MT365 stat variable, as it was not intended to have been included there. And I think that's it. As usual, our typical reminders that if you have submitted a ticket that we did not discuss here today, please rest assured that we are still looking into it. If you do have questions about anything you've submitted, feel free to respond to your email and respond to the ticket, and our agents can look into that for you.
Okay.
And I think that's all I had.
Great. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate it. All right. Again, we'll just tackle these last few slides, our standard slides. Again, IQVIA support plan. Just again, please be sure to include your participant ID number in your communications with STS and IQVIA. A list of resources that are available to you out on the STS website, the IQVIA support phone number, as well as the IQVIA tech support email address. Again, here is my contact information. If you need to reach me, please feel free to email me directly. And also here is my direct line. If you'd rather have a conversation, please, again, do not hesitate to reach out to me about anything, any questions or concerns you have. I'm here to assist in any way, listen, good or bad. Again, just please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm here to help you in any way, and I'm always here. So just, again, give me a shout. If you have database operational questions, you have questions regarding your participation agreement, a list of contacts for your facility, questions regarding invoices, payments, anything, feel free to reach out to us at stsdb@sts.org. If you're not sure whom to reach out to, just give me a shout directly and I can get you in touch with the appropriate staff. Be sure and mark your calendars accordingly. Our next 2 webinars coming up. Our next user group call is scheduled for July 13th at 12 p.m. Central Time. And our next monthly webinar is July 20th at 12 p.m. Central Time. So again, be sure and mark your calendars. STS will send out reminders for these webinars. But again, user group call July 13th and our next monthly webinar is July 20th, both at 12 p.m. Central Time. That is all that I have from the STS perspective and IQVIA perspective. Does anyone from STS or IQVIA have anything they wanted to touch on before we moved on and tackled some of our participant questions? Going once, going twice. All right, with that, we'll just go ahead and tackle our questions. All right, let's go here. All right, our first question from Nancy. Which report do you think U.S. News and World Report will use for 2022 analysis? Nancy, I'm unable to answer that question. I don't know. I think that's something you would need to reach out to U.S. News and World Report for, unless Dr. Meyer or Dr. Jacobs. I don't think Dr. Jacobs is on any longer, but I'm not sure. You would just have
Well,
to.
so I'll just comment. This is John Meyer.
Thanks, Dr. Meyer.
I think in the past, what they have done in their processes have been to access the information that's on the public reporting page for the STS, and then combine that with whatever information they get from their own survey at the individual institutional level, and then through whatever internal processes they have to which we're not privy. That's how they come up with all of their rankings, so-called rankings. They couldn't do that this year because we didn't have a report that was timely available on the STS public reporting site as a consequence of all of the changes with the data warehouse, et cetera. But, the other thing everyone should be aware of is that there has been a group of both staff at STS as well as this is under the purview of the database task force, that we're probably going to change what data is publicly reported, how it's formatted, what you can what information you can access. So there are a number of things that are going to change. I would say, given all of that, the likelihood that there would be information on the public reporting site that U.S. News and World Report could access seems maybe a little less likely, and particularly given their timelines for when they need the data and how much time they take to, crunch the numbers, whatever way they crunch them. So I have an idea that, and it's speculation, but I have an idea that U.S. News and World Report is probably not going to have STS data that they can work with, for their next year's worth of rankings or whatever. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know anything about their internal timelines and when they need them. But I think there's at least some chance that we'll have U.S. News and World Report the next time they do that based on the same information or same types of information that they used for this year's national reports.
Right. Yeah, and they'll have the same. We're preserving a lot, a lot of the same tables. Table 16, all of that information will still be in the dash. Will be in the dashboard reports, the risk adjusted reporting. But again, yeah, I have no idea what U.S. News and we'll ask for or be using. No idea. Thank you, Dr. Meyer. We appreciate it. Our next question from Kelly: as a new data manager, are there training modules available on how to use IQVIA? Mel, did someone from your team want to tackle this one? I know there's training manuals, there's training available out on within the IQVIA platform, out on the STS website. Did you want to be more specific information on the training that's available?
I can answer, I guess, a little bit further. That's in regards to the training. So there is, within the library, there are overview documents related to the reports. Also, within the STS website, the data manager webinars, there were sessions that were recorded where there were walkthrough reviews of each of the reports. So I think the best bet would be to check within the library resources, and then again on the database resources that are on the STS website.
Right. And Kelly, feel free to reach out to me directly as well. Here's my email address. If you have any issues or, specific questions on how to access anything, or can't locate the training modules, just again, please feel free to email me directly and I can point you in the right direction and assist you in any way possible. So happy to help out. Thank you, Melanie. A question from Kelly: what about logic to exclude COVID-19 positive patients from analysis? Is that scheduled from an upcoming release as well?
I can answer this. The logic that will handle excluding patients that are positive for COVID-19 is actually handled on the DCRI side. So IQVIA sends the full data set to DCRI, and they handle the logic by looking at the responses that were provided within, I believe it was a temp code variable. And if any of the responses are yes, then based on that, they have the logic that will exclude those patients.
Thank you, Mel. Nancy, when is the next invoice being mailed? Nancy, I'm not sure. If you could email stsdb@sts.org, they could answer. Jane and her team would be happy to answer that question for you, but to be honest, I'm not sure. So again, just email STS, the database operational questions, stsdb@sts.org, and Jane and her team could answer that question regarding the sending of next round of invoices. Angie had pointed out audit deadline reminders. Oh, Angie, thank you very much. I did fail to include those in this slide deck. I will go back and add those prior to posting having marketing post the slide deck to the website. But the audit deadline reminders, they were included in the last webinar. So if you need them right now, they are available out on the website. Angie just posted the July 1st are the EMRs are due. So July 1st, so which is coming up on Thursday. So for all of those sites that are being audited, July 1st is the deadline for to get your EMRs up over to CRS. And again, if you have any specific questions about the audit and the process and getting information over to CRS, please be sure to email them directly, and the CRS team will be able to answer all of your audit related questions. Okay, let's see here. Let me do this. Okay. Will you be reviewing the new dashboards again when you release the spring fall 2020 data to the IQVIA platform next month? It was a while back that we had a preview of these on one of our calls. Cindy, I think that's a great idea. We can most definitely, review the dashboards once the data is posted. We could definitely cover that on one of our user group calls once the data is available to the participants. So I think that's a very good idea. So we will plan on that. Let's see here. I know Diane had asked a question that I just wanted to cover really quickly. As I failed to cover this on my AQO update. Sorry about that, Emily. When will registration for AQO open? So AQO registration will open mid-July, and you can register on the STS website. Emily had put a link into, I think if you could put the link into the chat box, that would be great. I don't know if everyone's able to see that link in the Q&A function, but thanks, Emily. But yeah, so AQF registration will open mid-July, which is, oh gosh, it's just right around the corner. I can't believe we're at the end of June already. Blows my mind. Let's see. I think I saw a hand raised. Hold on just a second. Kelly, please. Kelly, you should be unmuted.
Yes, back to my question about the COVID-19 exclusions. So we're submitting data to review it in IQVIA, and this is a data quality report to ensure that our data are accurate and complete for submission to DCRI and analysis. However, if the exclusions are going to be taking place at DCRI, how are we going to know that when we're checking our data quality reports in IQVIA? For example, I have 2 mortalities that have been attributed to COVID and should be excluded from analysis. So how am I going to know that in the data quality report in IQVIA?
So one of the enhancements that we will be providing, and this will be on the participant non-analyzed dashboard, is the ability to filter patients based on their COVID status. So you would be able to review patients that were answered using that temp code variable. Based on if that is answered with one of the yes options, then you can filter the reports to then display patients that are COVID positive. And then also if you wanted to review patients that were COVID negative. So that is coming, but in regards to the exclusion on the analysis portion, we will not exclude any patients when we're sending the data set to DCRI. We send them the full data set, and they, at that point, use that variable response to then determine the COVID status. And they will use that in their exclusion logic.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't expect you to exclude patients and not send them to DCRI, but there will be a filter. And do you know when that'll be coming?
We don't have a time frame, but we're hoping to align it at the time of when we are able to release the actual risk-adjusted report. So we're working on that timing. So when we have further information on when that filter, and then also it's not just updating the filter, we are, of course, going to provide the results within, I believe it's the risk factors section. I can't remember the section within the form where the question resides, but we would have the results, of course, filtering out, and then also the responses for you to be able to see that visibility. I think by the time we have our next user group call or monthly call, we should have confirmation on when that feature will be available.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Melanie. Okay, I don't have any additional questions. I'm not seeing any. Again, just while I'm waiting for questions to come in, I just want to share July 13th is our next user group call, and July 20th is our next monthly webinar. Carol, anyone, data managers, core group, anyone have anything they wanted to add before we call it a quick call today?
Hey, Leanne, the July 20th one, are we still having that call? Sorry.
Oh, no. As far as I'm aware, we are. That is my birthday.
Yeah.
I know. I have not made arrangements to take off that day yet, but
Okay.
I feel like since the data is just going to be newly released, well, I don't know if it's going to be ready by July 20th. So we'll play that by ear. I'll let you know. I'll let you know sooner rather than later. Obviously, if the data has come out and participants have access to that data, I would most definitely want to hold that webinar so we can discuss any questions and review that. But again, I don't have a date yet.
No, that's fine. I for some reason that date, I knew it was your birthday and it stuck in my mind that we discussed it, and I just wanted to make sure I just wanted to double check what we were doing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
But yes, I'll let everyone know. But as of right now, I don't have any plans to take off. So you all can celebrate my birthday with me if possible. Bring me cake. I like chocolate cake. So that is all that I have at this time. I'm not seeing any additional questions come in. So I guess with that, we'll go ahead and call it a day. I hope everyone has a great week, is having a great summer. Again, happy birthday to all of the June babies. Again, for those of you that joined late, here's my proud mom moment. My youngest is 16 today. My oldest turned 20 on the 13th. So happy birthday to all the June babies and the upcoming July babies. Let's see here. It looks like so if no one else has any questions, I hope you all have a great week. Thanks for joining us today. And again, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Thanks, everyone. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time. Thanks, Allie.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.